Well, hello there. This is Beth Green. And tonight I am going to be talking about what do you dread in your life, which means you're going to have to do some talking, right? Why and what to do about it. So before I start talking, I'd like to introduce you to Sweet Baby James, who's going to introduce our show.
Welcome to Granny Rocks Our World, otherwise known as GROW, which grows on you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, where we experience Granny's wit, her wisdom, and her very uncommon sense. So take it away, Granny. Pet.
Or common unsense or nonsense.
Or
Anyway,
nonsense.
hello, Bob said hello, Beth and James. So we get to say hello, Bob. Amy said, hi, guys. This is the perfect topic. Thanks so much. I'm so glad. Well, as usual, I tuned into the audience right before the show, and I said, what do you want me to talk about? And as usual, I had a list of things that I thought that you wanted me to talk about, but it wasn't any of those. It is this. What do you dread in your life? So I want to start out with Todd said, hi, Beth and James. Hi, Todd. Hello. I want to talk about the first thing that comes to mind about what I dread in my life. This is Friday night, don't you know? It is Friday night, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is.
Well, Friday night, the only reason I know it's Friday night is because last night we did Dreams of Peace improvisational piano at 7 o'clock, and that's Thursday. So that must mean today is Friday.
Either that or we're in Belgium.
Or that's right. Or it's Groundhog Day. And then I should be at the piano. So what I'm thinking is Friday night, a lot of people are out having dinner together, or they're, now that it's getting warmer, at least where you are, it's probably warmer, and you might be at the beach or with friends, whatever. So we're not going to have enough live people on the show live to answer my question. So I'm dreading the show, because what happens if I ask the question and nobody answers, right? It's like having a party and nobody comes. So I've already got a plan as to what to do about that. So because that really is the solution of dread, is to really figure out, is there a plan to deal with whatever it is you're dreading, or do you just have to accept it and, because, whether you dread it or not, it's going to happen, and then why add dread to the misery you're already having? So anyway, I have an idea. I'm going to tell you what it is. If you do not respond to the question, what do you dread in your life and why, then I am going to intuit what people dread in their lives, and then I'm going to intuit why, and then I'm going to intuit the answers, because if I don't, you know what's going to happen? What I dread is you're going to look at me and say, Granny Rocks, Beth Green, is a failure and a dud.
And you dread that, don't you?
I do. She is like the most unpopular vlogger on the planet. I finally found out what vlogger meant. It's what I do, what we do, is like a video blog, is a vlog that makes us vloggers, I believe. Anyway, we can't look unpopular, right? That's so embarrassing. That means there's something wrong with us. So, people have to answer. So there have to be people here. Otherwise, I'm going to look embarrassed. And I'm also dreading that the show will be a dud if nobody responds.
I have a dread. So when you're
Is
ready.
it related to this topic?
Yes, it is.
Okay, take it
It's
away.
what I most dread. What I most dread is flubbing up in front of other people.
Ooh.
And the more people, the more dread.
Oh, so you have the opposite problem. I'm afraid, I dread looking unpopular, like nobody's with us, there's nobody joining, there's nobody saying hello, right? Because that makes me look bad. And you're dreading that you are going to flub, and there's going to be a lot of people there, and then you're going to look bad. So we're at cross purposes.
Well, maybe we balance each other.
Anyway, you get the idea.
Nature's balance.
So I am challenging you who are out there. And because I know there are people watching.
Well, Amy thanked us for this topic, so maybe she's got something she dreads.
Maybe she does, or someone else on that, anyone ready to say what they dread. in the meantime, I'm going to, okay, RAA says, hi, Beth and James.
Mhm.
See, that's it. He dreads Beth and James, obviously. Hi, RAA. I was only kidding. Okay. So I was thinking about what do I dread, aside from the show is a dud and that no one's there and you all recognize that nobody ever comes and that we just make up these numbers. So, oh, Todd says, I dread being considered uncool or stupid. And I'm with James. I also am afraid of and dread flubbing.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Hey, Flub brother.
Flubadub.
Flubadubs.
Flubadubble.
Flubadubs.
Right, the flubadubs.
The
So,
Flubadubble brothers.
Todd, why do you dread being considered uncool or stupid? I know that there is a delay, so it may take a while. Amy says, you crack me up, Beth. I'm glad. I try. This way, while I'm laughing, nobody realizes that I'm dying because no one's here. But the people are here, so I don't have to die. There's nothing to dread. Anyway.
Rumors of your death are greatly exaggerated.
Greatly exaggerated. So while Todd is thinking and other people are thinking about theirs, regarding your question, this is Amy. I definitely dread making cold calls to people to find more music opportunities.
Ooh, that's
Okay,
a tough one.
So now we have Todd and Amy meditating on why they dread it. So I'm going to give you an example of something that I dread, and maybe this will be helpful. I already did the, I'm going to look like a dud, but I dread getting out of bed in the morning.
Mm.
Every single morning. Now, what I recently discovered in doing some research, because I have chronic fatigue syndrome as well as many other illnesses, which is why I always look like I just got out of bed.
But at least you've made it out.
I made it out of the
Despite
bed.
your dread.
But it's at 6:30, see, it wasn't in the morning. So I'm thinking, I asked myself when I was preparing for the show, like thinking for 2 seconds, I thought, well, I don't like the way I feel when I get up in the morning. I feel dizzy, I feel weak, I feel nauseated. What's the like, right? I'm afraid that I will fall on the way to the bathroom. And I'm always so late going to the bathroom because I dread getting up, which means that by the time I go to the bathroom, I'm in a terrible hurry, which means that I'm much more likely to fall. You see, that's pretty dumb. So what are the solutions to this? Well, I can't help feeling dizzy, weak, and nauseated and kind of just feeling lousy. But I could take all the trip hazards out of the way of my path going to the
Right.
bathroom, right? Like
Including the
James
two dogs.
Rowe.
My
and the-
rogue. The two small dogs
Uh,
laying on the floor.
Right. I don't run to the bathroom. I be mindful and I relax. Okay. So Todd says, going back to his original point, I dread being considered uncool or stupid, and I'm also afraid of and dread flubbing. And he says, because I fear I will be abandoned or shunned.
I won't abandon you, Todd, because I'm with you. I know what it's like.
Now that is very good, because what we're talking about, and Amy says, same for me, Todd. I'm afraid people won't want the music I offer, or I'll fall over my words and feel totally stupid. Yes. So what we're all fearing on top of physical pain is emotional pain.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking about too for myself, about why I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. Feeling rejection, feeling the absence of love, feeling loneliness, fearing unfair criticism, feeling hopelessness, fearing the loss of loved ones. Now, this fear of being abandoned or shunned, because I'm claiming that I'm going to tell you something that you can do about it. Well, I've already said, don't leave trip hazards on the way to the toilet, right? That's a really good way to help yourself to not fall, and don't rush. But as far as being abandoned or shunned, Sweet Baby James just started. He has already told you that he's with you.
That's right.
Tracy says, hi, Tracy. We're talking about what do you dread in your life, why, and what to do about it. And so if you start to collect people in your life who you know love you and do not judge you, Amy, Todd, Beth, James, everyone else who's out there who hasn't identified verbally yet, but I know that you identify. Try to create an environment of love for yourself if you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Todd said, thank you, James. I really appreciate that. That was, and go to the people who you know will understand and not make fun of you. And we just saw that happen. Todd, with James now, today, do you think you feel a little bit less afraid of being abandoned or shunned by him? Maybe not necessarily by the rest of the world. And we'll wait for that response. Sorry about the delay,
And
guys.
by the way, I just want to add parenthetically that with you in my life, you understand that I'm going to flub up, going to make mistakes, and you stay with me anyway. You love me anyway. You know, you're very, very supportive.
Yeah, I'm not going to abandon you for flubbing.
Right.
Not that I know of. So it's really important. And Todd said, yes, he feels more comfortable now with James.
That's great.
So it's so important for us to admit what we're afraid of, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am afraid I'm going to look unpopular. And if anybody supports our show, oh, Debbie says, hi to you both. Love this. This is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Debbie. See, I feel less and less afraid of looking unpopular, not because we have thousands and thousands of followers. I mean, we have thousands of followers on Facebook, but they're not really that active. Not because we get hundreds of likes, but because there's people like Debbie and Todd and Tracy and Amy and Bob and other people. Erica, did she say hello?
Yeah.
Who are on with us, and I feel accompanied by them. REA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll do this.
Yeah. So that makes it less painful because we are not going to be abandoned by those people. Now, if we're like teenagers who only care about the people who don't like us, I know I felt like that as a teenager. I wanted to be liked by the popular kids. Well, I wasn't. You know, but why was their opinion more important than the unpopular kids that had the good taste to like me? Or the one unpopular kid who had the good taste to like me. You know, I don't want to do that to myself. So much of our pain would go away if we started to accept the support of those who really do love us and value their support more than we value the support of people who don't show that love to us, even if they do. So that's a way of taking a trip hazard away. You know, I talked about making James put his robe somewhere so I don't trip over it when I get up in the morning. But this is us taking responsibility to remove from our path the obstacles to our self-love and self-acceptance. Now, I don't mean by that we should eliminate the people in our lives who give us real feedback.
Now, what would you say to Amy, whose fear is that people won't want the music she offers?
Well, it's the same thing. It's the fear of, she already said that she had exactly the same thing. It's a fear of rejection.
Yes.
Well, if Amy were to, Amy just said that's really interesting what you're saying about how we are often looking for support from those who don't love us instead of those who do. See, there are people who love Amy's music. People, when she makes the cold call to get another gig, she's fearing or dreading that person is not going to want her music. If she were to get on that phone, and I'm glad you brought this up, James, if she were to get on that phone and see herself surrounded by the people at the last couple of weddings that she performed at, or people who have liked her or who love her music or who love her in the past, if she would see that when she got on the phone, she would not have the same fear, the same dread, because it's not a blanket thing. For some reason, we take everything as blanket. One person twitched their nose at us and life is over. It's like a blanket indictment of us, right? Rather than focusing, even if it's someone who loves you and who may say something which you're construing as critical, which may actually be a positive feedback. If you surround yourself with the memories of how many times that person has told you that they love you, or how wonderful you are, then you are creating a safe haven, an island of support, so that you don't have to be so afraid. Amy said, "Thank you so much, Beth. You're making me cry with your love." That's wonderful. I'm really glad. I am sure that whether they're watching right now in this moment or they're watching in the future, many of us have these experiences. You know, I just want to share one more thing of substance. One of the things that we dread, that I dread, is the loss of James. You know, they're from the simple, who's going to make me breakfast, who's going to plug in the lamp, you know what I mean? Who's going to take out the garbage or help me get somewhere or help me into the car? You know, that's really scary. But who's going to hug me and love me and care about me
you
and appreciate me?
and your music and your
Exactly.
consciousness.
So what do I do about that dread, the dread of the loss? Well, the only thing that I can tell you is I'm going to lose him anyway. But if I live in that dread, I lose him now rather than losing him later.
How are you going to lose me? By me dying before you?
Or
something
me.
Like that? Or you dying
Or
before
one
me?
of us getting, you know, dementia or ending up in the hospital or having a coma. I mean, you know, especially as you get old, you really start thinking about this. So pour your heart out to the people that you love now. Debbie says, my 6-year-old grandson said hi to you. He watches you both with me. Oh, hi there.
So good that you're watching. We're happy that you're with us.
Very happy, very happy. And Debbie, I didn't know you were old enough to be a grandmother. Of course, you could be 36.
Yeah.
Right?
My sister became a grandmother when she was 37.
Oh my God. So she may not be very old. Amy said, that's just like my dread of losing my mom. Of course I will. She's 91. I always tell her how much I love her. That's good. Oh, and Debbie says William. I assume that's your grandson's name.
Hi, William.
Hi, William. And Tracy said, I dread being direct and having people upset with me. Okay, I'm going to take on that one last topic before I go. I said the other thing was going to be the last thing, but I just got such a good question that I can't overlook it. Why do you dread being direct? It's because you dread people being upset with me, with you. Well, because that will bring up, you know, the loss of love. Oh, Debbie, you're 64. Oh my God, you're not in our generation, but you're catching up fast.
When I'm 64. I've changed that one to when I'm 80.
Oh, hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
I just said hi.
So good to see you.
So, anyway, and
Now,
Shauna said, I lost my dad in October and I still dread every day without him. Oh my God, well, we just have to talk about this, don't we? So, you know, one thing you can do, okay, so back to Terry. So Tracy, we're just getting all these good questions at the end when I should shut up. No, honey, it's further down.
Right
Tracy's right there. I dread having people upset with me. Well, when you are going into a situation where you need to be direct, why don't you surround yourself with people who want you to be direct? In your mind, bring them with you. Bring that island of safety, right?
Yep.
Clear the debris. Your fear is like a trip hazard that you're going to fall on your face, right? Clear that and replace it with a paved road, which is made up of all the support there is for you. And you walk in with that support. And Shauna, I am not going to, be able to answer that question here because it's so late. I would love to have known why you still dread every day without him. But there must be something that you lost when he died and that you feel like you can't live without. And I invite you to take up, our topic and ask yourself, what can I bring into my life that is going to fill the need that my father filled? So get to what that need is and ask yourself, how can I get that need filled another way? I'm so glad that you join us so often on Granny Rocks Our World, and I hope that we are helping to fill that need of love and support and caring for you. So with that, I think we better come to a close. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at this point, we have Grow at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can leave your comments even after the show, because I always go back and look at those comments. Please pass on the show to anyone you think might use it, like it, love it, anything like that. Oh, Shauna said, you nailed it. Fear is my biggest burden because he was always there. Thank you. Well, we are here to help you with your fear. And Tracy says thank you with a kiss. And Terry gives two loves, two hearts. Thank you so much.
We love you too.
We do. We do. And we will walk through our lives together. And there are people who love you, Shauna. Fear is natural, but it is always improved with support. So you go for it. You can't make him come back, but you can get that love and support again. And don't forget, we do a program called Growth every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, where we have a video conference and we all talk to each other about how these programs apply to us. And I welcome you to come. And the first one is free. So what have you got to lose except your loneliness, your fear of rejection, your hopelessness, your fear of losing a loved one. Thank you so much. Oh, three hearts from Aria and 3 hearts back. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye
The
for now.
instructions are on the post of how to go to Growth. And please follow our page so you'll be notified when we're on live.